Hi everyone! I promised you a tutorial, so here I am filming one. I don't do these very often, and when I do, they almost always just sit on my computer and no one ever sees them, but here I am, and I promise I will put this online. I promise. I promise. This is just my normal, easy, neutral makeup on a day that I have to go to work, so I have to wear makeup, but I don't want to actually have to think about what I'm doing. This is pretty much my go-to everyday, I want to look nice makeup. Anyway, if you want to see what I did to make my face look like this, hopefully you can make your face look like this if you follow along. And yeah, if you want to see what I did, just keep watching. Alright, first things first, I'm going to put on foundation. It is the base of everything else, and when my skin doesn't look perfect, everything else just looks ridiculous, and I'm sort of required to wear it to work. So this is actually a BB cream, but it's a real Korean BB cream. It's from a brand called Misha. It's the best. I'm sure other people have other opinions, but this is my absolute favorite. And they have a really pale color. It's actually the color of my face, which is weird. There aren't very many of those because I'm too white. And then I'm just using a beauty blender because beauty blenders are also perfect. Literally, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to screw up with a beauty blender. Just make sure you're only dabbing, not rubbing at all, because as soon as you rub, it starts to displace the foundation. So when you're only patting, all it's doing is putting it on and not moving it off of where you want it to be. Ta-da! Next, I'm going to do some contouring and highlighting because the lighting at my work is sort of horrible. Makes everything look really flat, and that's the other thing about foundation, because it evens everything out. Sometimes it makes things too perfectly the same. That's why most people wear blush over their foundation, but contouring and highlighting helps as well. I'm using a cream product from Becca, their low lighting sculpting perfector, not powder. I love it. It's beautiful. There's no like red tone in it at all, so it really looks like if my skin were in the shade, this could be what color it is. I'm using a flat foundation brush because the flat brushes are sort of the go-to choice for contouring, because you want it to be this straight line right under where you want your cheekbone to look like it is. I'm just putting on a line right where that line is and sort of blending upward mostly. So, line and then blend. Next, I'm going to do some highlighting. I'm using High Beam, which is a liquid illuminizing product. It comes in a really stupid bottle though. Like, it looks like a nail polish bottle. It's really dumb. There are much better packaging out there. If you like this color, NARS Copacabana is very similar, and it comes in a squeezy tube, as all should. It's really dumb. But highlighter just goes right across the top of your cheekbone. I'm also going to tap some above my Cupid's bow and just a little above my eyebrow and on my nose. And then I'm going to take my beauty blender and sort of blend all of that out and then blend together all of this cheek stuff as well. Alrighty, now I'm going to let all of that set before I come back and powder and use blush, because I'm using a powder blush as well. So I'll let this set a little bit and move on to my eyes. I'm going to start with brows because I feel like they just frame everything else once they're on. Sometimes it takes a lot less of other makeup than you think it's going to. And I'm going to start with just a spoolie. This is actually a disposable mascara wand from Sephora. There are a lot of brushes that come, like this Sonia Kashuk brush that came with a spoolie. It doesn't really matter, they all do the same thing. But I'm just going to brush my hairs up and outward. My brow product of choice lately has been Anastasia's Dip Brow. I used to use the Brow Wiz. I still like that too. It's all preference, really. It's like a cream product. You could really use this as a cream liner if you wanted to. It's a nice product because you can sort of use it on many different levels of how fake do I want my brows to look today. And then I'm going to define the top here where it starts to arch. I pick up just a little bit on my brush And then I tap off any extra into the lid so I don't have too much on my brush at any given time. And then here on the corner, on the outside, you just want it to be really come to a point. So you don't use very much out there at all. And then I'll brush through that again from the top down to sort of blend the top line, and then from the bottom up to blend that. Ta-da! And then the same to the other. Now for my eyes, first I'm going to start with a primer. This, I feel like, is a necessary step in all eyeshadow routines. Since I have started using primer, I can frequently go 12 hours without it even starting to crease even a little bit. I could probably sleep in my eyeshadow and wear it again tomorrow if I wanted to. Not that I do, because that's a bad idea. Always wash your face. Seriously, always wash your face. But this just helps it keep everything right where it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to go in with an eyeshadow base. Base and primer are different things. Primer helps everything stay longer. Base is going to help the colors be more vibrant. Some bases also act as primers, but I tend to not trust them as much as something that's specifically a primer. So I use both. That's up to you. Experiment and see what works best for your skin. But for me, I almost always use the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Barely Branded. It's perfect for me. If you're much darker than me, it's probably going to be way too light. But for me, it's just the most beautiful, even just barely lighter than skin tone color that just evens everything out and lets everything else really pop and be the color that it's supposed to be. Okay, now I'm going to go over the top half of my eye with a shade that is the exact same as my skin tone, which for me is this right here from Makeup Geek. I think it's Vanilla Bean. Yes, Vanilla Bean. So I'm going to take a giant flat brush, well, giant for the eye area, because it's going to cover as much area as it can. I'm just going to put this all over the top half of the eye, not over the mobile lid. This is going to help everything else blend out more easily later. Next, I'm going to take my crease brush from Sephora. This is the number 10. There are a couple that they have that I use for this, but this is the closest one to hand right now. It's fluffy and sort of rounded on the tip. So it's going to get into this crease area and sort of blend itself out without too much work for me. And I'm going to use a sort of mid-tone matte brown, this shade right here, which I believe is Hipster Barcelona Beach. So close. And I'm just going to, with my eye open a normal amount, just look straight into the mirror. Little tiny circles and big windshield wiper motions, and that will blend everything out. And you do it with your eye open so that you can see exactly where it's going. If I close my eye, then I don't know where my crease is now. But if I open my eye, then I know exactly what you can see when my eye is open, which is how I look when you're looking at me, like 95% of the time at least. And the same to the other eye. Next, I'm taking just a normal eyeshadow brush. This is the Sigma E55. I'm going to take a really light shimmery shade. This is Shimma Shimma from Makeup Geek. This whole palette is Makeup Geek, just so you know. They're amazing. I love them. I will sing their praises until the day I die, pretty much. But Shimma Shimma, I'm just going to put this all over my lid. Next, I'm going to take another Pro Blending brush. This is the number 27. This one is flat. It's like the ferrule is printed flat on this side, not on this side. Like you can use this to place eyeshadow, or you can do this to blend it. I'm going to go back into that skin tone shade that I used earlier all over the top half of my lid, just to make sure that this darker shade is totally blended out. You don't want there to be any visible lines where it starts or stops. Just using very, very light pressure from the very end of my brush. Just barely skimming your skin. Then I'm going to pat just a little bit more of that Shimma Shimma onto the same brush that I was just using and put it right under the arch of my brow. And that's all the eyeshadow I'm going to do. If I really cared right now, then I could put a little darker shade into, instead of all the way across this crease, I could just do like the outer third of the crease and maybe connect it down to where my eyeliner will come out. And that would make it a more dramatic look without going any more dramatic, really. This has been my favorite liquid liner since I got it. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. It is a brush tip, not a felt tip, so it doesn't have all of the little weird bits of fabric starting to stick out or anything, even though I've been using this for almost 6 months. And it also hasn't dried out at all, which is incredible as far as I'm concerned. And I have used it, I mean, not every day, but a really fair amount. So I say get it. It's $20 and it's totally worth every penny. Sorry, I'm gonna pull this closer for a second. I don't think I can do it all the way over there. I always just start with my eyelid. I always do the wing last. But you just want to get as close to the lash line as humanly possible. So that's just one little tiny line. If I wanted to leave it like this, I could curl my lashes, put on mascara, and go. Sorry, this has lights on it. And I keep touching it. And it doesn't go away. I'll try to keep my hands off of it. I'm sorry. My eyes are just a little bit downturned at the corner, so I will usually make the outside of the line a little thicker from like the center of my eye out. Alrighty, so that's my eyeliner with the outer half thickened up. You want to take the line of the bottom half of your eye, like the bottom eyelid, and act like that's just going up and out forever. And then just connect that back into the actual line you've already drawn. Ta-da! Let's see if I can make the other eye match. I bet the answer's no. Close enough, right? Now, while that eyeliner is drying, I don't want to go ahead and curl my eyelashes now because I would just get eyeliner all over the curler and then it gets all over my eyelids and it's not fun. So while this is drying, I'm going to stick my eyelash curler in my bra. You wouldn't try and curl your hair with a cold curling iron, would you? So why would you curl your lashes with a cold curling iron? I'm just saying. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off my skin now. I'm going to set it with this Wet n Wild bronzer. Some people use this as a highlighter. I just use it as a setting powder. It's a nice illuminating setting powder if you want something that's going to keep your skin from looking really flat. So I just picked them up on this big fluffy powder brush. This is a Sonia Kashuk one. Kashuk, that way. And just press it. Again, just like with a beauty blender, if you just rub it across right to start, all you're going to do is move all of the good things that you were working on earlier. So just pat and let it sit on your skin without moving anything that you've already put on there. Then I'm going to take my, this is actually an angled contour brush from Sigma, the F40. I use it for blush. You know, brushes are whatever you want them to be. And these are my Makeup Geek blushes. Clearly I love Makeup Geek. Don't judge, okay? And today I'm going to go with this sort of peachy shade. It's called Bliss. It's very lovely. Tap off any extra, and then just right on the apple of your cheek, sort of from your iris out, following the angle of your cheekbone. There we go. Let's say that hopefully that was enough time for my eyeliner to dry. It usually is. Pull this back out of my shirt and make sure it's clean, and then we'll do my lashes. Right now I'm using the Clinique High Impact Mascara. It's a perfectly acceptable mascara. I haven't found a mascara that I'm like totally in love with yet, honestly. Every mascara I've ever used is like, it's a mascara, you know. There are some that flake a lot. Obviously I don't love those, but that's very personal preference. You know, how does it work on your body chemistry? This so far is serviceable. I just had to restart my camera, so hopefully that's still in focus. I'll cross my fingers on that one. I think really all that's left at this point is just lipstick. I'm actually taking this out of the box right now because it's brand new. I love new things. It's the Urban Decay Revolution lipstick in Fiend. It's just the most perfect My Lips But Better shade. It's sort of a really pinky nude rose. You know, all those colors that sound like the same thing really, but... And this is a really lovely formula. It's moisturizing, but it's not so slick that it's just gonna fall off your lips in 10 minutes. So I like it a lot. Just use my finger to soften the edges a little bit. There you go. Isn't that just lovely? It's so pretty. I'm glad I finally picked it up. I've worn it like 20 million times at work, and I was finally just like, you know, I wear it enough, I should just buy it, right? So here we go. That's my whole look. This is what I'm going to wear to work. I don't think I go to work for like 4 more hours, 5 more hours. It's a while, but that means I have time to eat dinner and, I don't know, maybe watch a movie or something. I don't know. I'm very unused to going to work in the evening. I always go at like 5 in the morning, so I sort of don't know what to do with myself right now. I guess I'll figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll edit this. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for sitting through that with me. I don't know if that was helpful, but if it was, cool. And if it wasn't, then tell me what would have made it that way. Okay? Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Have a good one. Bye.